All right, we're trying it again. We're trying it again. Motherfucker. Motherfucker. Well, this is where the members only chat really bites you in the ass, huh? So let me tell you guys what happened before the show. All right, it's working fine now. So you've missed my great points about JSN and Kenneth Walker. I've cited data, done a lot of great things. Shout out Justin. I appreciate you, Justin. Members, you've let me down. I might have to, for things like this, I might have to kill myself. The first words I'm saying on stream here. Basically, what happened before the show is like something locked up on the screen. Stream Deck was trying to update a thing I never use, and like I couldn't X out of it. Had to cancel out with Task Manager. Everything looked fine on my end on StreamYard, but apparently not working. So awesome start to the video. I don't know if I should just like restart the whole thing. I'll put in the timestamps. I've literally talked for 6 minutes. All right, well, speed run through everything again, guys. We're going to go through the top plays as we always do here. We're going to look at ETR data, all that stuff. You guys know the opening spiel. Fuck me, man. What a waste. I'm going to die on views today. Please hit the like button for the 6 minutes of work you didn't see. But also, I'm going to show you guys my NFL data. That's coming up next week. College data previews coming up for me the same way we've done it, except now it'll be on my Splash Play podcast site. If you are a member of the channel as well on the Squirt Squad or VIP tiers, you also will get that data now on the Splash Play podcast site. It is up. Again, I'll show it to you guys later on in the video. But now I have to make up time because I've said all the shit I had to say about JSN, Kenneth Walker, how he's fucked with us, him being on the thumbnail. I've wasted all my good fits. I need a break, guys. NBA All-Star break coming up soon. NFL, we get the week off, even though I'll be doing the rookie previews. We'll get there. We'll get there. Unbelievable. All right, JSN, your top pick guy in the slate. Let's start it over. 8K salary, 21.75 FP. Again, if you want to skip past me doing nothing for the first 6 minutes, check the timestamps down below after the video. For JSN, though, right now, again, this projection on him, 80.5% ownership. Optimal rate's a little bit lower. It's 78.2%. For JSN, I think the projection at 21.8 fantasy points totally fair. And like I was saying before, the audio worked correctly. Having Charbonnet out, having a situation where you're losing a guy who does get, how many red zone opportunities again? Does get 3.2 a game in the red zone, 1.9 of which inside the 10-yard line. That work's got to flow somewhere. Charbonnet, was one of those guys that would get annoying levels of work that would impact Kenneth Walker mostly, but also impact guys like JSN. So for the situation now where we have, Kenneth Walker being a player that should absorb that workload, he's going to be the guy people look at the most. He's one that projection-wise, we're going to see being incredibly owned on the slate. But JSN just having the opportunity to get the ball more in the situations where they might have given the ball to a running back, short down and distance. They probably didn't want to use Kenneth Walker for those before. If they did, they would have. But they didn't do that a lot. They went Charbonnet's way. So instead, those targets, those opportunities, those touches rather in short down and distance, that can flow JSN's way. That can flow AJ Barner's way. That could flow theoretically Cooper Kupp, Rashid Shaheed's way. The assumption is that's going to flow Kenneth Walker's way. But really, they all benefit from just losing a guy that was a hawk for touchdowns, probably more than he should have been relative to his role in the offense and how good he is compared to a lot of these guys. So for JSN, good projection on him. Hard to imagine being under the field too much at 80%. But certainly if you want to just go full game theory mode, you play him in half of your lineups, you're still getting the benefit of getting a lot of good lineups with JSN, but you're not getting him everywhere. Kenneth Walker, 94% ownership for the field right now. Stochastic is suggesting you should get about 97% rounded up. So basically the same thing again, getting no Charbonnet in. That means you are going to get not just the need to break big play touchdowns like Walker has done, but you also get the elevated role inside the red zone. That opportunity will be a lot stronger for him. He's been a guy that's been getting dusted in terms of red zone role on the year with only 2 red zone opportunities a game compared to 3.2 for Charbonnet and only 0.6 inside the 10-yard line as opposed to the 1.9 we talked about for Charbonnet. So for Kenneth Walker, you're taking away the big blocker for his upside. That said, the ways that he fails, Seattle doesn't show up here, gets beaten up by the Rams, gets their ass kicked by the Rams. We don't expect that based on the Vegas total, which right now, is favoring Seattle by 2.5 points. It is still only a field goal, but it is still a cosign in favor of Seattle. It's like they're an underdog at home here. And Seattle has been, the much more shut down defense over the course of the season as well. So for how it looks for Kenneth Walker and, for a lesser extent JSN, I think Kenneth Walker, I really think that you have to ignore all the shit that he's thrown at us this year with not showing up as a chalk play so many times. But I think overall, he's one of those players that you now have to have a lot more confidence in, because the thing that was making him less good is now gone. And frankly, even in a game script where they're behind, you're losing Charbonnet, who might have been out there for some, pass protection and the minimal amount of targets, but Walker was already getting, a 22% target rate compared to Charbonnet at 14. Unless George Holani comes in, and he's one of those guys where he just takes over the entire role. He does have like about a 2.5 point projection from Stochastic today. That's something where that'd be a little bit unforeseen in the data. Walker right now be in almost every lineup play, it seems, according to Stochastic data. Puka Nacua, 69% ownership for the field. Optimal rate's about the same at 68.4. His projection at 21.3 here looks pretty good as well. We'll see how easy it is to build lineups with JSN and Puka Nacua. Obviously, you'd expect in a competitive game, Puka Nacua should be involved meaningfully as a PPR play. Going against Seattle, this is a team that overall is limited pass production about as well as anybody in football. Negative 0.11 EPA per dropback, negative 0.12 EPA per pass. In the red zone, there's no underlying weakness there. It's a negative 0.26 EPA on those plays. Going against the slot, they've limited slot targets, only a 43% slot target rate, but a 0.2 EPA on those plays is actually the most inefficient defense against slot players on the slate. So for Puka Nacua, I think there's reason to think that he would be the guy you'd trust a little bit more than a Devontae Adams, who does face a tough matchup out wide. Seattle's really shut things down. Flat 0 EPA there, only a 25% target rate out wide. They basically funnel targets to running backs for the most part, does Seattle defense. But the slot rate's still efficient. We know that the Rams are going to try to attack through Puka and the slot. So I think for Puka, I don't think he's quite as good of a play on paper as JSN. Again, accounting for the lack of Charbonnet, accounting for Seattle being the favorites, all of that, and the Rams defense just being a little bit less good. But I still think Puka, if you could get these two guys in, Kenneth Walker, maybe that's how a lot of the field's going to build to this weekend, but still think those look like the best three plays. Shout out Chunk being here. Appreciate you guys filing in after my incompetent first 6 minutes. But shout out Justin again coming through with the super chat so I could see it. Because unfortunately, if it were a free chat, you guys would have told me and I would have been corrected immediately. But instead, it is what it is, guys. It is what it is. Note taken, though. Drake May at number 4, facing a Denver defense that really I expect to clamp down as much as humanly possible. Given the fact this game now, with the downgrade from Bo Nix to Jarrett Stidham, the defense has to know the responsibility kind of falls on them. And we have seen Drake May. I know he keeps winning. He keeps winning. He was good all year, beating up on the tomato cans, like you're playing punch outs first few rounds. That's what Drake May's NFL season was like. Now, though, we are in a situation where he's facing a Broncos defense that, much like Seattle, total shutdown team, negative 0.12 EPA per dropback allowed, negative 0.14 EPA per pass, negative 0.3 EPA per red zone pass. So it is a spot for this team at this point, where I think this is where New England finds their depth. That said, having Stidham on the other side, having the fact that we have New England being a favorite, fucking 4.5 point favorite on the road in Denver. I mean, look, you guys know what my takes have been all year. I'm waiting for the wheels to fall off on Drake May. He just keeps getting, and I know this isn't like, this is now a general populist take as well, but he just keeps getting the red carpet rolled out for him over and over again with these adverse condition situations. Like poor Stroud last week. Yeah, he didn't play that well. Losing Nico, obviously, going into the game, losing Dalton Schultz in game, losing linemen in game. It just was like unfair, I think, in the situation. And now you have a defense for Denver that's full strength, but a QB play on the other side, you're expecting to not be quite as good. But, revenge spot for Jarrett Stidham. Point being, I'm not buying in on fucking Drake May. Like, I'm not buying in on him. Even if the Patriots win, I think it's going to be one of those, you grit your teeth, you get through it. He might run for a touchdown. He might run for 2. I mean, they do defend QB runs pretty well. 0.3 EPA per QB run allowed by Denver's defense is actually one of the better marks in the league. But like Drake May just keeps getting there. So I don't want to tell you guys not to play him, but the field's going to play him in half their lineups. I'm cool getting 25%, even if I want to like hedge a little bit. But, morally, I want to go fucking 0 because I think this is where we should see the depth come. But that said, you get Drake May against Seattle in the Super Bowl. That might be the last great hope. Ugh, I hate it. But Drake May at 20-point projection, he's number 4. We're going to take my bias out of it. Drake May, he's got a good projection on him. He's number 4. He's going to be owned by half the field, though, so he'll probably be your chalk, your cash game QB, if I had to guess. Number 5, Sam Darnold, a 17.3 projection. So you got Drake May, who's a little bit of a gap behind Puka, JSN, Kenneth Walker. Then you got Darnold as well, who's a bit of a gap behind Drake May. The same situation here. So for these guys, I think Darnold a more interesting play. I wonder if we'll get him in the cash game lineup when we run ETR data in a moment. But May and Darnold, just a little bit ahead of Stafford. Jarrett Stidham, not really going to come up at all. Only 13% owned. I think you can play other QBs. I mean, look, again, acknowledging that I am fully anti-Drake May pilled. All right, let's sort by value here. Again, guys, show some love, even though I understand I've created a poor video environment today with the first 6 minutes of the video being a dead spot, but I still am showing up and doing the work here, even when the technology fails me, even when my own brain power fails me. But I'm still here. Again, all NFL season. We're going to do a Super Bowl video coming up. Next week, the work begins for the Super Bowl, not Super Bowl, the big board kind of style drafts. I'll be doing all my rookie previews starting next week. Not sure which day, but stay tuned. You will get QBs, RBs, wide receivers, tight ends. Might do it in one video, but I might do it, probably will do it separate. So stay tuned next week. Lots of stuff coming up on the channel. And of course, there'll be some amount of best ball drafts all offseason as well to keep a touch point for NFL going. Check out Stochastic, all their data updated, even when I am incompetent and my brain function is not there. Stochastic data will guide me through. And of course, for you guys as well, they've had Millie Maker winners out the wazoo this year. Lots of great finishers in NBA DFS as well. Guys, one guy won 30K last night doing their NBA stuff. There's lots of great ways to win money with Stochastic data and tools, so check them out. Link down below. Use promo code SPLASH when you get over there for 15% off. And last but not least, if you want to see the college data that I've now built out, my new NFL site, also my NBA data, you get both of them if you join. Basically get the same access level, no matter what channel version you're joining here. Join down below, $5 to join as a supporter, so you can be in the members only chat and tell me when the audio and video are not working for reasons unclear to me. But also you get into the Discord for $5. You get my data sheet as well, and the improvements to the NFL site. If you join the Squirt Squad tier or the VIP tier, you'll get all that stuff as it breaks, because I am coding and building out relentlessly now because I see that it's working. For NBA in particular, we've had a lot of success. Next year for NFL, we'll have the same thing going. So, and throughout best ball, we'll see what I can build for best ball. I'm trying to figure that out over the next couple weeks before MLB season I have to start prepping for. All right, your top values. Kenneth Walker, just underpriced for the situation with no Zach Charbonnet. Like we talked about, the situation is just a lot better for him. You have him at 6,200 here, 21.4 projection. That gives him 3.5x value. So that is why he's mega chalk. It makes sense for games, for how people are going to view the games. He's too cheap as well. The projections look too good. Seattle's the favorite. So, you know, certainly, again, if anything goes weird, Walker gets hurt. Walker ends up in a game script that just goes really poorly. Like just, you know, Seahawks just get their ass kicked entirely. I think that's where Walker does fail. So you want to account for that, but he looks like the best play in the slate. And he's been a guy, again, it's been so disappointing all year, but this is his week. Drake May, 20 fantasy points for him, makes him a 3.3x value at a 6K salary. So another guy here has a good projection on him. Will lead to a lot of ownership as well with him being a high value guy. But he's going to be owned by half the field. I don't think you necessarily want to just go walking right into like a lemming with all the ownership on one QB. We know how QB ownership can work out, where even if a guy scores less than Drake May, let's say Jared Stidham puts up 17, Drake May puts up 20, but you got the Stidham stack right. He hit with Cortland Sutton. He hit with probably not Troy Franklin at this point, and probably not Pat Bryant at this point. Marvin Mims, I guess, at this point. You get that stack right, like you might pay off even with a lower scoring QB. So there's something to keep in mind with Drake May, even if you are the biggest believer in the world. He is facing a tough defense, and half the field's going to be playing him. Sam Darnold, 3.2x value on him. Looks a little bit cheaper at 5,500, but projection being about 2.5 fantasy points lower than Drake May. People will probably want to go that way a little bit more. But Darnold going against Rams defense that I would say pretty much dead even with the Patriots for being the worst pass defenses amongst these groups. Like Seattle, been here all year. Denver, been here all year. Rams, Patriots, I would say better than league average, but not by much. You know, I think for Sam Darnold, I think the upside's there for him. Like my brain is going Stidham at 4,500, save all that money. Then you can get your Puka, get your JSN together. But Darnold, you could probably do the same. And it would make more sense to stack that up with Darnold and JSN. Jarrett Stidham, only a 13.8 projection, but a 3.1x value. Only 14% ownership for him. Like I think taking the shot here, revenge spot going against New England. Sean Payton apparently has thought the world of him for years. I mean, that's kind of been the case. He basically wanted to give him the job, then couldn't do it really. But you know, now he's out there. The team seems to be behind him as well. Vegas total doesn't support it with Denver having the lowest total of the week. 19 implied points. It does feel like an in-season backup kind of situation. But I'll take shots on Stidham. I mean, look, if I'm going to shave off 25% of Drake May, at least getting Stidham at 25% doesn't feel that bad to me. Broncos D going against Drake May. So interesting to see. We're getting Broncos D as the top 5 value and Drake May. So Drake May, definitely one of those players, could turn it over here. He's been a fumble machine lately. Interceptions have not been bad for him over the course of the season. 1.3% interception rate. You're talking about half of league average. So can't critique him for that too much. But going against Denver, it is a team that does deflect passes at a decent rate, 8% pass deflection rate. It's not, there's better teams on the slate, but that's still relatively high according to league average. They're around the ball, so you could turn those into picks theoretically. But I think you can play May and Broncos, but if they're going to come up a lot as, two of the top 5 values, maybe you don't want to play them together because they're not going to naturally correlate anyway. Obviously, they're going against each other. JSN right behind is a value, so he'll come up a lot. Stafford right behind. Puka Nacua right behind as well. All right, let's go over to ETR next. Actually, no, let's sort by ownership. Sorry about that. Forgetting the process here. I'm still too flustered by fucking up the first 6 minutes of the video. It's like I was in my grandiose, here's the points I'm going to make, and then it just fucking didn't record. So we're doing great. Top owned plays, guys. We got Kenneth Walker, 94% owned here. We've talked about him already. JSN, 80.5% owned. We've talked about him. Puka, 69%. Very nice for Puka, but still a spot where I'm happy to be with that Fields number. Drake May at 50%. Ramondre at 48%. Ramondre definitely seems like, what do they have? They've got Henderson all the way down now at 8%. It does feel like these tides of, they've been in favor of Ramondre all year, but it does feel like they are now fully, in do or die situations on board with Ramondre. That said, I just feel like Henderson, if he just gets out there, breaks one touchdown, he can earn a little bit more. But Ramondre is the top 5 owned play at 48%. Just out of Hunter Henry at 40%, Diggs at 40%. So obviously, if you're going to get Drake May, you're going to get a stack partners with him. You expect Diggs and Henry to be your top 2 targets, but you still have Kyle Williams out there. You still have Pop Douglas sometimes catching a touchdown. Butte has been involved enough. It's still the same Patriots team where you don't know where things are going to flow, despite it being, do or die time in the playoffs. I think one thing I've heard from some of the industry experts this week is that they expect Diggs to see the softest coverage out of everybody, basically, because they'll move him around a lot. So he's not facing the toughest outside corners and things like that. For Diggs, maybe that's a reason to give him a little bit of a boost, but at 40% owned by the field, I think that's enough. That's your ownership. Let's go over to ETR now. Let me log in before we go over this tab. And let's see what ETR thinks a good cash game build would be, because that's an important part of the process here. But before we do that, guys, one more run through things. Please hit that like button. Please subscribe, especially on this video, because now that I've blown the first 6 minutes of the video, I'm going to be so boned on rewatchability. But of course, guys, I'm still going to show up and do the work here. This weekend, I think I'll be on live before live for Stochastic too. But of course, Flash Play here, rookie preview week coming up, Super Bowl video coming up. We'll do some big board style drafts coming up as well. Probably one a week is I think what I'll be doing moving forward for that stuff. But stay tuned for the channel. Lots more coming up, even though the NFL season is slowing down. The work here does not, though. NBA continues on as well on the Splash Play Bets channel. Check out Stochastic, 15% off. Click the link down below. Use promo code SPLASH over there. And of course, join the channel. $5 if you want to be part of the live chats. If you also want to get into the Discord, $5. Get my matchup sheet. That's still going to be part of the $5 tier for now. If you want to also support the new Splash Play podcast site, lots of cool data on there for the NBA, for the NFL. Go check it out right now and join the Squirt Squad tiers. You'll get access to everything. VIP tiers, you'll also get access to everything across the NBA and NFL. And soon MLB, where we're doing all the sports this year, because things are running hot. So you can tell the way I said that. Things honestly, my NBA play has been great, so I'm excited to tackle MLB with a similar process. I have to figure out if I'm going to build my own projections or just use stochastics, but that'll be coming soon too. All right, so our top plays here according to ETR data, just to see how it looks out of curiosity. So they've got Puka at 22.4, so a little bit of an inverse situation to what Stochastic had. They've got JSN at 22, Kenneth Walker, 21, Drake May at 20.2, then Stafford ahead of Darnold, so they've got that flip from Stochastic as well. Jared Stidham a little bit higher at 15.3. No big changes, though. Let's lightly tweak the projections. Let's run a cash game build here. We'll get back on track. If you want to check out the solver too, I don't promote them that much because it really just makes me no money. I don't really get how, but click the link down below too if you want to check out the solver. Promo code SPLASH over there does nothing for you saving money, but does give attribution and whatever. I plug it. It's a great product. It really is. I just wish I don't think they track affiliate stuff right, if I'm being real about it. Neither here nor there. Let's get into their cool data though. Top lineup here, cash game lineup for the solver. We got Drake May, RJ Harvey, Kenneth Walker, Keyshawn Butte. They've got Pat Bryant in. Pat Bryant, what's his latest? We got a full practice in yesterday. Okay. Last I saw, he was limited, but he got a full practice in. So I guess the assumption is he'll make it out of concussion protocol. He has been bumped up the food chain. Troy Franklin left for dead for the most part. So Pat Bryant here, 8.8 projection. He makes the cash game lineup alongside Butte at receiver. Puka Nacua makes it. Colby Parkinson makes it. JSN makes it. Broncos D makes it. So you are naturally getting a Drake May against Broncos D situation. I really feel like knowing how that negatively correlates. And again, I'm such a Drake May non-believer. I just think you're better off playing the inverse outcome where it's like, hey, Broncos D, if they make a winning lineup, it's because Drake May didn't make it, even if you have a couple Patriots in there. And if you got Drake May, let's say the Broncos D didn't make it because like Drake May went so nuts and he ran for many touchdowns and he created a great offensive environment, didn't fuck up at all. But I think it's weird to assume that the defense, like in a cash game, that just things that don't make logical sense. I think it's easier to point out in a cash game. Just don't do that in a tournament if you can avoid it. But you get Puka and JSN too. So maybe some assumptions that I have are chalky. Across all 25 lineups, you got Broncos D and all of them, Kenneth Walker and all of them, JSN and all of them. Certainly not surprised to see the Walker part, Broncos D part. That means we're not getting Drake May and all of them. He's only in 76% of the top 25. But that is still a lot of Broncos D with Drake May coming together. Who else is coming up at QB? You're getting Stidham in 24% of them. So that's it. You're getting either Drake May or Stidham. You are not getting in optimal focused builds here. The other two QBs. So interesting to see. Overall player stacks, nothing really to note here. Game stacks, nothing to note. Across your top 25 lineups, you're getting at least 2 Seahawks in all of them. So that's one thing right away. If you were to try to get more unique from the field, playing max 1 Seahawk, playing 0 Seahawks, if you were to play a build where they somehow, again, totally get their ass kicked, which wouldn't be expected, but it is still one of those things that has a probability on it, like it can occur. But all these lineups have at least 2 Seahawks, and majority of them have 3 or 4. We got 88% of them have at least 2 Rams. Noteworthy, but doesn't matter that much on a 2-game slate, 4-team slate. Broncos 76% have at least 2. Yeah, you're getting at least 2 of these guys no matter what. But the Seahawks one, the fact that they're making all the lineups, that stands out when we just run a projection-based lineup build. Let's pull in. Do we have Sims ready? We do have Sims ready. So let's pull in game stacks here. And let's also allow 3 players versus defense because that seems to be a decent rule of thumb. We'll put on some variants. We'll build 250 lineups. We're now in the sim portion of things, guys. Let's see what we get. Shout out to all you guys hanging out again. Appreciate you guys dealing with or coping with me starting the video poorly. Though if you guys are tuning in now, I guess you would know. But the first 6 minutes of the video, shout out to our guy Justin. But I didn't realize the audio and video were not coming through because of a tech issue where I was seeing it on my end, but it was not going through to the internet. So burned 6 minutes of great conversation. Fucked myself up for the ensuing 20 minutes of the video. But we're getting there now. Shout out to all you guys hanging out here. Hope it's a good time whenever you're listening. I know a lot of you guys are listening Saturdays, Sunday mornings probably this week. So shout out to all you guys whenever you do watch or listen. The data should hold. So really got nothing hanging over the air now, especially with Pat Bryant. Like that answers one question I had. I guess Dobbins would be one. Seems like the data here, assuming RJ Harvey is in and Dobbins doesn't get activated. But Dobbins has been back in practice. There's a chance he could be activated here, though. May make more sense to save him for the Super Bowl, if you can. He's got 2 straight days in practice. I think Dobbins, that's something that's going to change in this data, so never mind. I felt confident in the data, and maybe I shouldn't be. Let's see, is Dobbins in the pool? No. Yeah, they don't have Dobbins as the projection right now. So something to watch out for here. Obviously, if you get Dobbins in, you'd bump RJ Harvey down a little bit, even if you don't think Dobbins plays a ton. But I think if Dobbins plays, I don't know if they're mega thrilled with what they've gotten out of Harvey. As a pass catcher, I feel like he's been good. As a runner, short down in distance, I'm not sure you're that. I mean, he wasn't supposed to be that kind of guy anyway. All right, let's simulate this out for the Millie Maker. 130,000 entries. Oh boy. Gonna be some dupe trains in this tournament. Oh my goodness. Dupe trains playing Drake May and Broncos D against them. And Kenneth Walker. It's going to be like the first 3 players in so many lineups this weekend. I really thought it was going fast there for a minute. I thought I was going to have to talk to fill any more time, but then it slowed back down. All right, we're good. We're good. Top ROI lineups here, according to ETR data. We got Jared Stidham in this one here. A Jared Stidham double stack. That's fun. The 1,300% ROI. And again, you can see the kind of bell curve that the ETR data guys have said they generally think is the best lineups to play. V curve is what they would call it, where it hits and it loses a lot. Stidham, Ramondre Stevenson, Kyron Williams, Cortland Sutton, Pat Bryant, JSN, Hunter Henry, Kenneth Walker, and Rams D. So you're getting your Stidham double with 2 Patriots bringbacks. And you're fading Puka, but playing JSN. Number 2, you got Stafford, Blake Corum, Kenneth Walker. He's going to make all these lineups as well. Puka Nacua, Devontae Adams. So you got your classic Stafford double here. JSN, Higbee on top of that. Cooper Kupp and Broncos. It's a lot of Rams. I mean, that's a full-on Rams-Seahawks game stack, which, you know, can hit more in these short field kind of situations. Like, what if one game is a total dud? So if you see those come up, you definitely shouldn't X them out because it does feel a little stacky, but, you know, yeah, sometimes that can hit. Number 3, we have Sam Darnold, Kenneth Walker, Kyron Williams. So both RBs in the same game. Cortland Sutton makes this one. JSN makes it. Rashid Shaheed, Austin Hooper, Puka Nacua, Broncos D. So this one, we are playing a Patriot, but we're saying there's not a lot of Patriots offensive production because that's the only Patriot we're playing is Austin Hooper. We then have Broncos D going against that. That makes more sense to me. You have a Darnold double with Walker coming along, and then Kyron and Puka putting up the good fight against the tough Seahawks defense. I like that lineup. Oh, this one loses a lot. This one finishes dead bottom of the field 3% of the time, but it also wins you everything 1.9% of the time. Jared Stidham, RJ Harvey, Ramondre Stevenson, Cortland Sutton, Pat Bryant. So triple stack with Jared Stidham here. Puka Nacua, Colby Parkinson, Kenneth Walker, Seahawks D. So we don't play Stafford because we assume Seahawks D does something probably to get a takeaway, maybe a pick 6 from him. Maybe some sacks as well. Puka Nacua and Parkinson, though, hit. Walker hits, sure. Number 5, we got Stafford, 800% ROI on this. Stafford, Ramondre, Kenneth Walker, Pat Bryant, Puka Nacua, JSN, Colby Parkinson, Tyler Higbee, both tight ends for the Rams. That'll be unique. Patriots D. So we're still assuming the Patriots win, I guess, here. But we're not playing Drake May. We're not playing Broncos D. We're getting different there. And we are getting Puka and JSN in, which I support. Pat Bryant's going to make a lot of ETR lineups, I feel like, because using the cash game build is coming up in salary savings and enough of these top lineups as well. ETR data definitely supporting Pat Bryant. Highest ROI, guys, across this ETR data. Blake Corum's number 1, 208% ROI, but only 6% exposure. So when he hits, but he's probably not worth playing a lot. Pat Bryant, 188% ROI at 18% exposure. So he does seem like one of your preferred value plays. Rashid Shaheed, same thing here. Those salaries, $4,400 for Pat Bryant, $4,100 for Rashid Shaheed, probably allow you to get these spike week guys around them in a meaningful way. Shaheed, 140% ROI on 13% exposure. Jared Stidham, 131% ROI on 10% exposure. And Eric Saubert, your second string tight end, I guess really should be third. But Arroyo, who knows his status. Saubert, 121% ROI, 5% exposure. Okay. Drake May coming up right behind him, Broncos D. So the chalky Drake May and Broncos, not in our top 5 ROIs, but not that far behind. So ETR saying does believe those guys are good chalk. All right, let's go to Stochastic next, guys. Let's build our lineups over here. Again, always great to see how the two sites compare because that's going to make up a lot of the field. While this builds out, guys, let me show you what you'll be getting as well. Actually, I should do plugs first. Let's do plugs. Well, please check out the solver if you want. Link down below if you do want to check out the solver. Great tool with that ETR data involved. Also, hit the like button and subscribe. Goes a long way for me here. Again, I'm just one guy showing you my gambling. As you can tell, sometimes there's not a full production team here. It's just me showing up. So that does mean I will sometimes run a stream where there's no audio or video working for anybody. I'm going to have to check on my phone every time now obsessively. But I will keep showing up and doing the work here throughout the NFL offseason. We'll keep doing some best ball drafts, keep our touch points going. Of course, for NBA, Monday to Friday at 2 p.m. Soon for MLB, you'll be adding 5 days a week of videos there too. So stay tuned. Lots of cool stuff coming up for me here over the next few weeks and months. Check out Stochastic, 15% off, link down below, all their stuff. NBA, NFL, if you just want to get NFL weekly packages down the home stretch, use that promo code SPLASH. It's the only deal they have going right now, but you get 15% off. So great deal over there. Weekly, monthly, even yearly stuff, all that 15% off over at Stochastic. And last but not least, join the channel here if you want to be in the members-only live chats or in the Discord, $5. You also get my weekly matchup sheet and the premium video that I am going to do after this one, assuming that everything works correctly. But stay tuned here for that. But $5 to join as a supporter. And coming up here, more data on the Splash Play podcast site, on the Squirt Squad tiers and the VIP tiers. I'll show you the NFL site after this. All right, we got our top lineups here according to Stochastic data. We got Drake May, RJ Harvey, and let's take a quick look. Presume they also have Dobbins out. They do have Dobbins with no projection, so same thing here. Both sites currently not expecting Dobbins to play. That may change. Drake May, RJ Harvey, Ramondre Stevenson, JSN, Stephon Diggs, Pat Bryant, Hunter Henry, and Kenneth Walker makes it alongside Rams D. So Patriots triple stack with 2 bringbacks. So you're playing some of the chalk, but you're not playing Broncos D against it, which does seem like a difference from what ETR was giving us a little bit. Number 2, Drake May, Travion Henderson with Ramondre in this one. JSN, Stephon Diggs, Pat Bryant, Hunter Henry, Kenneth Walker, Seahawks D. So just the Patriots dominate. I get it. I get why people might think that, but like still a good Denver defense. I don't think you play both Patriots running backs and Diggs and Hunter Henry. I don't think the Patriots are hanging 50 on them this week. But Stochastic is giving you it. Number 3, Sam Darnold, Kenneth Walker, Ramondre, Puka, JSN, Kayshon Boutte, AJ Barner, Rashid Shaheed, Broncos D. So quadruple Seattle stack. You're getting a lot of heavy stacking going on here in these top lineups with, again, nothing changed in their data on Stochastic here. But you're getting Patriots running again. No Drake May in this one, finally. This one, we're back to Drake May at number 4. You got Drake May, RJ Harvey, Ramondre, Puka Nacua, Kayshon Boutte, Pat Bryant, Hunter Henry, Kenneth Walker, Rams D. And at number 5, we got Darnold, Ramondre, Kenneth Walker, JSN, Stephon Diggs, Pat Bryant, AJ Barner, Kyron Williams, and Patriots D. So all these top 5 have at least a QB plus 3 stacks, so at least a triple stack with the QB. All of the top 8 also have that. So you are mega stacking a lot with Stochastic data, it looks like. Highest ROI players, only one player with a positive ROI, which doesn't really matter. We're looking for the directional accuracy, but it's still noteworthy that across the entire pool of lineups, this guy has this high of an ROI. Pat Bryant, a 30% ROI at 4,400. So both ETR and Stochastic loving Pat Bryant. Of course, that does mean that he will come up a lot more for players who are using their data, which is going to be a large portion of the field. But, that does also mean that he's getting, 2 sites saying he's probably one of your better plays to save as a value option on the slate. Number 2. You got Sam Darnold. Slightly negative ROI, but doesn't really matter. Darnold definitely going to be a lower-owned play than old Drake May. So, and he'll be pairing a lot with the Seattle receivers that it seems like the Sims enjoyed. So, Darnold at number 2. Seahawks D at number 3. Rashid Shaheed number 4. AJ Barner number 5. It is all Seahawks in the top 5 besides Pat Bryant. Did not expect that. Ramondre just behind him. Cooper Kupp just behind him. So, more Seahawks. Highest stack ROIs. Nobody's got a positive single stack ROI, but Stidham is the closest. Drake May behind him. Stafford behind him. QB double stacks. You got Stidham again, the highest. Sam Darnold, number 2. Drake May, number 3. Stafford, a distant number 4. And QB triple stacks. Darnold, number 1. Drake May, 2. Stafford, 3. And Stidham, 4. So Stidham triple stacks it doesn't think can hit. All right. Weird builds. Your best exposure, highest exposure plays. Kenneth Walker is a 99.3% of Stochastic's top 150 lineups. The field's at 93, so it's a big stand on Kenneth Walker. He's in basically every lineup. You get how it would happen. But, certainly if he doesn't hit, if he gets hurt, he's the guy that's going to be in every lineup, and that's sometimes could be your way to get unique if it doesn't work out the way people expect. Again, I really think the biggest way that it doesn't work out would be injury or Rams ass kicking that is not reflected in the Vegas total. Number 2, Ramondre Stevenson, 73% exposure, fields at 48. It's a big stand on him. Again, the Sims really do support the Patriots going into Denver and winning. Sims also do support Vegas totals, so I do think if you saw the opposite outcome occurring, then that's probably not as accounted for in the Sim as it should be. Number 3, JSN, 65% exposure, which is under the field, 79% and change. So a little bit of an under on JSN, but still coming up in less than 2/3 of the lineups, but more than enough. Puka Nacua is in 55% of lineups, Fields at 69. So bit of an understand on both our top receivers. And I guess, my first thought, which sometimes doesn't matter how much you play DFS, how much you know in prep, your first thought's often going to be very similar to the chalkiest thoughts anybody else has. My first thought was like, I want to play JSN and Puka. And that was my thought last week too. Like, it's my thought anytime we have them on a short slate. But maybe it's getting a little bit overplayed by the field. Stephon Diggs, 40% for the field, 45% for Stochastic. He's at number 5. Hunter Henry, AJ Barner just behind him. Sutton, Harvey, all those guys above 40% owned as well. Biggest leverage plays, you're getting Ramondre, 25.5%. You're getting Seahawks D at 22.5. You are getting Pat Bryant, 19% of the... Wow. So Pat Bryant, they have Pat Bryant as only a 1% play, but they have him as being worth 21% ownership. So that is a lot of Pat Bryant, but definitely a situation here where Stochastic and ETR think he is a very good play. That 1% ownership number, though, or 2% if we want to be accurate in our rounding up, that's not going to hold. Like, if you have both sites pushing him this much, that's just inherently not going to stay the same way. AJ Barner, 16.5% more than the field, and Sam Darnold, 15% more than the field. So Barner, again, makes more than 40% of lineups. Darnold, just shy of 40. At QB, he's your biggest leverage play. So there we go. That's how that looks. Your biggest fades in Stochastics, top 150 lineups. Let's see what we got here. Puka Nacua, negative 15% leverage on him. JSN, negative 14% leverage on him. We saw these guys. Again, there could be very chalky thoughts to want to play both of them this week. Patriots D, you're getting negative 11% leverage on. Marvin Mims, negative 10.3% leverage. Austin Hooper, negative 10.1%. He is only in 1 out of Stochastics, top 150. And then Drake May, Matthew Stafford right behind. So the Puka JSN fades, I think the most noteworthy here. QB, you got to have a little bit of give and take in top ROI lineup. So I think that's not the craziest thing to see. Let's do a hand build to close it out, guys. And I know the fellas always enjoy a good handy. And I gotta give it to you extra because of the first, I was a dead fish the first 6 minutes of the video. You couldn't hear me at all. So let's go over here to the single lineup sim. And let's also start the clock here for the premium video, which will be coming up here. It's going to be a short one, obviously, because it's a 2-game slate, but I will go through all the advanced analytics for all of you guys who are on the Splash Play family tier or higher. So 5-minute warning here going on right now. Let's build this lineup out. Let's go with the stuff we know the sim is going to want to see. Kenneth Walker, obviously one of the best plays in the slate. I'm not going to be a hero here. I will put him in right away. Let's try to build a Puka JSN lineup. The sim won't like it, but when I say that sim, I say go to hell, sim. Let's go Jarrett Stidham. I'm going to pay all the way down at QB. And let's put in Pat Bryant because we know the sim is going to give us a little pat on the butt for putting him into a lineup. I do like the spot for Kyron here. Think that he'll benefit from the Seattle funneling targets to RBs a bit more. And I too still tend to think, like, if the game is really coming down to the wire, I think they'd prefer to go to Kyron than Blake Corum and kind of high leverage spots. Defense here, we are going to go against Drake May. We're going to play Broncos D. Do we just fade the Patriots entirely at this point? We could. The sim doesn't mind AJ Barner. We know that. What's the best tight end matchup according to the data? Take a quick look-ski here. Tight end. It seems like Hunter Henry might have the best matchup. At least the best target rate. We'll play Hunter Henry against the Broncos D. That's fine. That doesn't impact Broncos D making it in the same way that Drake May, I think, having a good day would impact it. Now let's show affordable players. Now we got to get a $4,100 guy. Rashid Shaheed, AJ Barner will get played more. Let's try that. All right, so the team here we're trying to sim out. We got Stidham, Walker, Kenneth Walker, Kyron Williams, Puka Nacua, JSN, Pat Bryant, Hunter Henry, Rashid Shaheed, Broncos D, negative 25% ROI. Oh, man. They just shit all over me on that one. Okay. Who could I take out? Let's take out Hunter Henry. And let's take out the flex, and let's have it complete the lineup for me. It goes Hunter Henry and AJ Barner. So it does fade Rashid Shaheed, but does go Hunter Henry. Will this give me a positive ROI? Nope. It won't do it. I still like this build. Let's take out Kyron as well. Kyron, Hunter Henry, AJ Barner, all of them come out. Okay? How about that? Put in whatever you want, Sim. Puts in Hunter Henry, Kayshon Boutte, and Ramondre. Oh, you just love the Patriots. Oh, I got to give you your Patriots slop or else you can't fucking do your job. Yeah, this is me yelling at the Sim. Negative 14% ROI on that. Well, we still got 2 minutes. All right, what's the solution here? I feel like it's not playing Stidham. Right, who are the guys I insist or have to be in this lineup? I insist that Kenneth Walker is in it. I insist that Broncos D is in it. I insist that JSN and Puka are in it. And Pat Bryant, I will also insist, is in it. Now let's put on 10% randomness too. Let's get me there, Sim. Let's get everybody home. All right, Darnold with Kenneth Walker, Ramondre, JSN, Puka, Pat Bryant, Hunter Henry, Colby Parkinson, Broncos D. Give me a green number. 63% ROI. That's not bad. That's not bad. 0.3% win rate as well. Top 10, 2% of the time. Cash in 34. All right, we can do that. Real fast, because now I've taken too much time. Here's the NFL site. So right now, you can see, you could search players here. You want to look up your research before we head into the new season. Here's what Christian McCaffrey's numbers were this year. Here's what Puka Nakua's numbers were this year. Oh, that's so cool, right? This is free, by the way, on splashplaypodcast.com right now, /NFL if you go there. I don't think it's linked up on the homepage yet, so check it out. Here's the college data. This is for the members of the channel that are Squirt Squad or VIP members. If you go and log in right now with your Discord handle on the splashplaypodcast.com site, you get all the college data, and it includes historicals. Oh, why do I love Jaden Daniels so much? Oh, because the top EPA per dropback QB over the last 4 years of all the college QBs that have mattered. Oh, man, that's why I love Jaden so much. RBs, we got historical data for all these guys. We can see Jeremiah Love's numbers. This is the data we'll be looking at next week on stream, but preview right now for all the members of the channel. So join down below and do that. One more run through plugs. Please hit the like button. Please subscribe. Check out Stochastic. I should go full screen for this. Fuck, the stream's going to end. Stochastic, join the channel. Always money time. Follow me at Chris Spags on the channel at Splashplay Pod. See you guys again soon. Premium stream coming up.